I'm back again. I uploaded a video a little while ago that was a tour of my first playthrough settlements, and in that video I told you I was going to show you the castle, and then I had a major brain fart, completely forgot that I said I was going to show you the castle. So I'm back with a quick tour of the castle, and I wanted to show you this because in the other video I correctly stated that a lot of people really like to rebuild the castle and put the cement walls in. As a matter of fact, those are some of the most popular videos on YouTube about the castle. The videos about rebuilding the castle walls. And guess what? I did the same thing at first. As you can see here. Oh, look, it's Carla.
Easy pickings.
Oh, it's not Carla. Some other provisioner. Looks just like her, though. At least the way she's dressed. So, originally I did build some castle walls, and I didn't do a very good job of it, but I did do it. And if you come in here, and I think this is probably pretty similar to what most people would do with this settlement. They'd put their central area with their generators and then run wires everywhere, and there's some stuff to defend the generators, right? Some defense turrets. And then up here I ended up having to take some of the cement walls out because I did some other building on this settlement. And then up here I tried to protect the entrance, right? Seems like a logical thing to do. On the next video I'm going to show you, it is nothing like this. And you'll see why. Because this is actually not a very good strategy. Put some defense over here too. It's not a good strategy. And I'll tell you why in a minute here. But if you look over here, I had to put some missiles and some other stuff up here just so that my courtyard wouldn't get thrashed in case of an attack. And if you look down here, you can see I kept the water purifier. Didn't keep it like this in the next one. And again, I'll show you why. This is a really stupid thing to have. And even though I've surrounded it with these cement walls, somehow it still gets damaged when I get attacks on this place. I don't know how they determined that, because it's pretty impenetrable. I mean, if you look around, there's one way in through that wall, yet somehow my stuff in here always gets damaged. If you look, I had the cement walls here as well. It does look good, I'll give you that. It looks very cool to have the cement walls fixed up and closed everything off like that. This is where I took some of the cement walls out because I was trying to build more, I think it was to build more generators. Something else I think that was pretty cool that I did with this settlement in this playthrough was to, if you look back here, I put a generator inside like this. Forget carbon monoxide poisoning, that doesn't exist in this game. Look at all that smoke coming out of the thing. But you know what? It's nice, clean, healthy air. Oh, I see why. Because the smoke goes directly out of the hole here. That's why. So this is what I wanted to show you, because in the other... Well, you know what? Since I have the game on, why don't I just go ahead and show you the other castle from my other playthrough. So let me get it real quick. Sorry, this takes a minute. Like I was saying before, it's the load times on this game are kind of ridiculous. But we're going to load this other second playthrough real quick. I figured, you know what, I'm on a roll. Might as well show you this while I have the computer and everything all set up. And you know what? I'm just going to do the second tour now. Might as well just do it, right? I mean, I have everything going. Let's see here. Well, this is strange because I don't see this on my channel. Well, it's still loading anyway. But we do have a stream live right now. This live streaming thing is kind of cool. I think I need to get a better microphone because I'm just using the internal microphone from my computer just for simplicity's sake. Anyway, so here we go. In this playthrough, I did not finish the game yet. I was purposely trying to get some of these settlements. And since I was talking about the castle, we'll go there first. So, and the castle in this playthrough is going to give you a good idea of what most of my settlements look like. And it's this design that I came up with that seems to work really well. And it's actually a pretty open design. I found that closing off the settlements with walls isn't really effective because somehow, like in the case of Hangman's Alley, it didn't really pan out too well because somehow they got through anyway, the attackers. So anyway, here we go. Let's take a look. We'll do the same thing that we did last time. I'll come in through the main entrance so you can kind of see. So a minute ago, I was out here on my other save game, right? Remember, I thought it was Carla, but it was some provisioner out here. But you can see right away, I did not fix the walls this time around. You can come right through this hole in the wall if you want to, but I don't really care. You can come through that hole too. Doesn't matter. And by the way, the little door here is not open in this game because I haven't allied myself with the Minutemen, and I found that the only way to get that door to open is by going through the Minutemen quest line. This is also open. Okay? But here's what I did differently, and this is what most of my settlements look like on this game. I have most of my living spaces and everything, and generators and stuff up top like that, with an entrance to the stairway down here. And check this out. This is the key to defending your settlements. If you build your first platform with defense like this, and I've had attacks on the castle in this game, the attackers try to come through that doorway and they get demolished by all these laser turrets, or missile turrets rather. And the missiles are even shooting at them through the doorway out to that main path up to this settlement. And then I put my living spaces up here. I didn't finish. I usually put a railing around there, and I've come up with kind of a standard design for these, where I have two large shacks like this, and I fill them up with beds because I didn't see how everyone's sleeping. Look how happy they are sleeping. Everyone's having nice dreams. But then up here, I'll usually, when I run out of bed space, I'll come up here and I'll put two more in this area that I was using as a bathroom in my other playthrough. But check this out. In this case, I just put a smaller shack and filled it up with beds too. So, but if you look at this, I have 16 beds, which is probably enough, at least till I get to be a lot higher level. Got almost 200 defense on this thing. And the other thing I did differently with this one is, get down here. If you look, you can see that all my water, let's go downstairs. All my water is in the form of these pumps. Because I found with my other playthrough that having the water purifier in the ocean out here is a complete waste of time. I just took it out completely in this one. I don't even have the electricity going out there anymore. I mean, there is a little, what do you call it, little switch thing or whatever, connector, conduit, whatever, I don't know what you call that thing. It's out there, but I took the water out because all I ended up doing with my other playthrough, even though I surrounded it completely with cement walls, every time there was an attack, I had to repair the water thing. So I put all the water right down there. These turrets keep it completely safe. I've not had a successful attack on this settlement in this playthrough of the game. So that's the main difference. And just real quick, since I have the computer on anyway, I'm going to show you Spectacle Island real quick. And I'll show you Sanctuary Hills real quick. And I may go to Hangman's Alley just for a second to show you that one. Or, you know what? I'm just going to show you all the ones that I showed you in the last game, except for the lighthouse. I didn't get the lighthouse in this playthrough just yet. But check this out. Here's Spectacle Island. It's a little bit similar because I did close in my central area with cement walls. But here's the trick, and I think this is probably a really great way to make a lot of money early in the game. This is actually one of my first settlements. I found the perk under Endurance. It's called Aqua Boy. Right over here. Aqua Boy. It made me able to swim through the water without collecting any radiation poisoning. So I took that pretty early on. I swam out to Spectacle Island pretty early on. I think I was maybe 15th level, or level 15, somewhere around there. And I got this settlement very quickly. I sent one of my provisioners back to Sanctuary Hills so that I had access to all my cement and stuff. I built these cement walls, and look at this. Look at how much water I enclosed in these walls. And you can see I have 201 water production in this place. And the reason for that is because you can sell purified water for money at the traders. And if you have a settlement like this early in the game and just run sort of, I don't know, a water run to all your settlements and load them up with lots of water, money is never an issue. So I did that pretty early in the game. And the way I took care of the nasty bad guys that come after you when you liberate this place. Oh, and there's my farm, right? Before I tell you about taking out the nasties to liberate this island, I want to show you something that looks pretty familiar. Look, you see what I did? There's my first platform with all my turrets, just like in the other settlement. And then above that, you'll see I have large shacks built on a top level with a bunch of things so I don't fall off by accident. I hate falling off these things. It really sucks. But anyway, so what I did was, earlier in the game, I came out here, I swam to the island, I sneaked around to the tugboat thing, which you see off in the distance there. I flipped that switch on, and before the Queen Mirelurk came out in this area here to come after me, I jumped back in the water and I swam over to Warwick Homestead over there, so I didn't have to take the Mirelurk Queen out as a low-level character. I came back using, or swimming, I suppose, switched on the little switch in here that makes the settlement unlock, and then all the Mirelurks ran away because it turns on that bad noise that they don't like when you hit that switch over there. And yeah, that's how I captured this as a low-level character. It worked out really well, and like I said before, I haven't had any trouble with money in this particular playthrough of the game, because if I ever need money, I just fast travel back to this place, collect my water, and just take it with me to buy whatever I'm going to buy from the traders. But anyway, here's my turrets. I got some on both sides, and I have found that these turrets here will defend anything that tries to come anywhere near my farm or near my water. And then, of course, I have up here, this is a more developed settlement, more like what I've been doing. I have the 2 shacks, and then a whole bunch of space for in case I need... Oh, I thought I built up my walls here, but I didn't. My railings. Whatever, I'll get to that later. I don't spend a lot of time on this part of the thing anyway, and even if I fall off, I don't go too far. So I have it overlapped a little bit there. But you can see there's my 2 shacks, and my 2 shacks, when they're fully loaded up with beds, hold well over 20 beds. I think I have like 12 or 16 in each one. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I can fit 12 in each one comfortably, because I put 2 more on that. Yeah, look at all the sleeping people. I put 2 more up here if I need to. This holds more than 2, but I just put 2 so it's not too crowded. Okay, so there's that. And like I did in the other one, there is no reason to build anything outside of my little enclosed sort of impromptu castle down here. It's just You know, I have this little funnel in case some bad guys want to try to come get my water. Hey, you want to try to come get my water and go up against this? You're welcome to. I'll be picking up your pieces for the next couple of days probably. So, but that's that. Like I said before, since I have it open, we might as well go take a quick look at the other ones I was showing you before. We looked at Hangman's Alley. We'll look at that real quick. Tell you what, I'll work my way back up to Sanctuary Hills via Hangman's Alley and Grey Garden, because those are the ones that we looked at on the other video I uploaded here a little while ago. But Hangman's Alley, I don't think you can really get too creative with it. It's such a small space. It's not terribly different. You'll see in a minute here when it comes up. Something else, I'll give you a little hint on strategy here. I've found that if you arm your settlers with better weapons, they do a lot better defending your settlements. So in this playthrough, I focused a lot on giving the settlers better weapons to defend their settlements with. And you'll notice they're almost all, in this one particularly, they're almost all wearing the road leathers. I use that as kind of a cue to myself to say, yes, okay, so I put good weapons on this character. I would take their hat off and put road leathers on them when I equip them with a 44 Magnum or some other better weapon, because otherwise they're running around with these little pipe pistols. It's like the worst weapon in the whole game. But anyway, let's take a look. You can see I have a missile turret up here. I didn't do this in the other tour, but I'm going to show you as you come in. This is where all the attacks tend to emanate from. And I've got a whole lot of machine guns. I've got a bunch of missiles up here. I've got a missile down here. There's some kind of big fight going on in the alley next door. And in this case, I put my water right up front here because I want anyone who's going to try to attack my water to get pounded by these turrets up here. And then if you look over here, I really don't need this. I don't know why I left it, to be honest, but I just haven't fixed it yet. Put a turret up here to help defend the water and the corn. Back here I left empty because in my other game I was having trouble with attackers somehow showing up back here and damaging my farm that I had back here. Something I did the same is I put a couple turrets here and blocked off this entrance. I'll show you one more time since I was just down here. You can see the entrance was blocked off with a metal wall back there. And something else I did was I put another turret up here. And then I have my power here so that it can't get damaged by attackers. And this is looking down at the little courtyard again. So, again, it's very similar to the other playthrough that I was showing you a little while ago. Pretty similar. Let's go to Grey Garden real quick, or as quickly as this stupid game will load it for me. Some of the settlements are kind of unique. Hangman's Alley can't be done in my typical building up to a platform that has a bunch of turrets and then having my living quarters above that. Can't really do that on Hangman's Alley. Another one that I found it hard to do with was the Abernathy Farm. Kind of hard to build that same, because you have a big old house right in the middle of the settlement. And your farm's pretty much already made, you know, on the Abernathy farm. Anyway, so
Raiders thought we were easy pickings.
Here we go again. Lots of water. I used water in this playthrough to generate money on all my settlements, because when you're low level, you don't get a lot of attacks on your settlements anyway. I don't know why that is, but they just don't seem very frequent. But check this out. I didn't realize in my first playthrough just how high you can build this settlement. Remember in the other one I took a little platform and extended it past the cement structure there that holds the freeway up. In this one, I actually put it up to the freeway. and I found that there was a power armor on this freeway. I built it up and then explored the top, and there was a power armor frame up there with some, I think it was T-45 pieces on it. But as you can see, I've got missiles, I've got machine guns. I did not bother to enclose this in cement this time around, but I did do this. I made actually 2 levels of defense. I figured why not have some machine guns lower. They seem to detect the enemies further away when they're lower like this, and I think it has something to do with the way the computer tells the game to detect things in a straight line. So the lower it is, the further distance you have. But you can see that with the missiles and the machine guns up here, there's not a lot that's going to last very long trying to get to my water. And then you look up here, you'll see, once again, some prefabs, right? And I always put my energy up here so it can't be attacked. This is the power armor that I found up there. Oh, I was right. Look, it's T-45s. Didn't build any beds yet. This place doesn't really need a lot of beds very quickly because most of what's doing the work there are the robots. But I did put some, see? But this is what I'm talking about here. I didn't realize how far up you can build this thing. You might even be able to go higher than this. I didn't try it, but I bet you could probably even build a prefab on top of the freeway if you want to. But check it out. This is kind of cool. You have access to this lower level of the freeway. And with my other stairway here, I have access to the top level of the freeway too. So this is kind of a neat settlement if you build it this way. So anyway, there's a little tip in case you didn't know. You can build Grey Garden pretty high. And we're going to go back to Sanctuary Hills. And if you'll remember, in my other Sanctuary Hills, I had sort of a skyscraper near the entrance, and then I had my other sort of main area where my farm and my water was, protected by a ton of turrets. I think my defense point total on that other playthrough on Sanctuary Hills is very close to 400. And it almost seems like a waste because it never gets attacked. I read someplace, or I heard someplace, that the game tells the attackers not to attack if it has a lot of defense. So you can prevent a lot of attacks just by having a high defense. But check this out. So all of this was enclosed in my other game. Remember, I had my shopping mall here. But since this was a very early settlement, what I did was I built a whole bunch of water. As you can see, I have 54 water. Only 10 people here, so it's generating probably 20 or 30. Actually, no, I think it generates 1 per water point, and I think it uses 1 per person. So it's generating 44 water a day, which adds up to a lot of extra stuff to sell when you need money. But I have my big farm over here, or a pretty big farm anyway. But look what I did. Look familiar? It's my living quarters on top and defenses underneath. Put a bunch of machine. You can tell this was done early because I used the cheap, crappy machine gun turrets. This is a little better. I put the second level machine gun turrets here, and then on the very top I have 2 prefabs. I made a second level for my energy so that it can't get damaged. And look at these guys. I have little platforms surrounding this whole upper level, and they're gonna have missile turrets. I loaded up this area with missile turrets to protect my water and my farm, and I loaded up this side as well to protect my water and my farm with missile turrets. So even at this sort of early stage in the game, I have 161 defense on this. Anyway, No, I don't want to store my turrets, so I'll turn that off. You know what? Since I have the computer running anyway, I'm going to show you a more standardized look. I think that the slog kind of has it, but not really. But Finch Farm and County Crossing in this particular playthrough are nearly identical. And they use that more sort of standardized look that I was talking about that I used at the castle. And I'll tell you, I've had multiple attacks on these places, and this defense sort of setup works really well because the defense turrets are low enough that they'll detect the bad guys coming when they're still pretty far out. And the bad guys never really have a chance to get close enough to my water, which is just under that, generally speaking, just under that first level of turret platform. See what I mean? Check this out. I wish it wasn't nighttime. Sorry about that. But so here we go. Turret platform, right? Defended on all sides. I went a little light on the defense here because nothing really comes from the river. Oh, by the way, since I'm looking at it, you see that out there? That little doorway across the river? You should go check that out sometime if you haven't already. There's a pretty cool special weapon. It's a 44 Magnum that does... It's a legendary weapon. Worth having. If you don't know about it, go check it out. But anyway, as you can see, lots of defense. One of my favorite things to do is to get my sniper rifle and shoot at the super mutants when they're here at the communications array. And a lot of times, oh, there's one. A lot of times it'll cause them to come at me. And when they do, guess what happens? All these turrets just destroy them. And it's an easy way to get experience and decent things to sell at the other settlements. And finally, we will go to County Crossing. This will be the last one because I'm sure I've shown enough of this by now that you get the idea of this really good defense and settlement technique or strategy that I came up with. I haven't watched a lot of other Fallout games, so it's possible someone else did this and I'm just showing you something that you've already seen. I haven't seen it, and I thought it was such a great way to build the defenses for the settlements because it's been so effective in this playthrough. Anyway, once more, go up. Oops, here's our defense level, right? Lots of defense. In this area, sometimes I will shoot at the National Guard Armory, or whatever they call that little place over here. And then the ghouls come running out. I don't know if they're still there. I did this fairly recently. But they get about to where that car is, and that's it. Once they get there, these turrets just shred them. So, again, cheap way to get some extra experience. And, I don't know, it's kind of fun. Games like this are fun because you can play through them and employ better strategies the second time through. And you can see when you do it just how much more effective they are, the strategies that you learn the first time through. I suppose I could go back into my first game and rebuild everything like this, but that's kind of a pain. Isn't it more fun just to build new, and have the challenges of starting as a low-level character? But anyway, but you can see, like I did before, I put a bunch of water here, right where the bad guys will get shredded by my defenses if they try. I love it. So, anyway, yeah, I think that'll do it for this video. If I think of anything else that I forgot to show, I may put another one up, just for fun. But in the meantime, that'll do it for this one. And as usual, I'll remind you, if you find my tips or my strategies helpful, or if you find my videos entertaining in any way, consider subscribing because it does help me bring more fun content like this, if you like it. And I'll talk to you on the next one.